Welcome to this explainer. The great white shark is basically the undisputed king of today's oceans, right? Stalking the waters with this terrifying efficiency. But we're going to travel back in time today, millions of years back, to a much, much deadlier era in Earth's history, to look at a creature that honestly makes the great white look like a goldfish. So what actually ruled the ancient oceans? I want you to picture the most terrifying prehistoric predator you can think of stalking those waters. You're probably picturing a massive, unstoppable shark, right? Like the legendary Megalodon just tearing through the deep. Well, actually, scratch that. The true terror wasn't a shark at all. It was actually a giant killer whale, a monstrous predator armed with teeth that were individually bigger than an entire lion's jaw. Literally. According to scientists, this completely forgotten predator was so incredibly powerful that it didn't just casually share the ocean with the Megalodon, it actively challenged it for the title of the most feared hunter in ocean history. Section 1, the Forgotten Ocean Giant. Okay, let's dive right into this. We are looking at the Miocene epoch, roughly 9 to 10 million years ago. This was an era when the world's oceans were incredibly dangerous. And amazingly, two absolute apex predators shared these deadly waters at the exact same time. Meet Livyatan melvelli. Now, this was an extinct relative of the modern sperm whale, but whereas modern sperm whales mostly use suction to hunt squid down in the dark depths, and they only really have small teeth in their lower jaw, Livyatan was an entirely different beast altogether. It was equipped with massive, fully functional teeth in both its upper and lower jaws. It was just this apex machine built specifically for one brutal purpose: tearing apart large marine mammals. So you might be wondering, if it was really that terrifying, why isn't it as famous as the Megalodon? Well, while it ruled those Miocene oceans 9 to 10 million years ago, its fossils are incredibly rare. Because of that, Megalodon has just completely dominated pop culture. In fact, it wasn't until 2008 that paleontologists finally uncovered a massive skull in the Pisco Ica Desert of Peru, which happens to be one of the richest marine fossil sites on Earth. This discovery was an absolute game changer. It literally forced scientists to completely rethink what ancient whales were actually capable of. Section 2. Anatomy of a monster. So let's explore just how terrifyingly large and physically equipped this creature truly was. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this number right here, 14 inches or 36 centimeters. That staggering number is the size of a single tooth, just one. To put that into perspective, these are among the largest teeth of any animal ever known to science. They absolutely rival and, in some cases, completely exceed the massive teeth of the Megalodon itself. Just take a second to imagine a mouth entirely filled with those. No way, right? But it wasn't just about the teeth. The rest of Livyatan was colossal too. Estimated to be between 13.5 and 17.5 meters long. That's about the size of a modern sperm whale, but heavily weaponized. Those 14-inch teeth were thick and conical, designed specifically for gripping and puncturing really large, struggling prey, not just slicing. And incredibly, they possessed an enormous spermaceti organ right inside their skull. Scientists believe this massive, fat-based organ could have been used for echolocation, controlling buoyancy, or, and get this, even for head-butting rivals during intense physical combat. Section 3, rivaling the Megalodon. This is where fossil evidence proves something truly cinematic. Because Livyatan and Megalodon didn't just exist in the same era. They were hunting through the exact same overlapping regions of the ancient seas. So why did they compete? Why on earth would these two heavyweight monsters clash? Well, we don't have direct fossil evidence of a physical fight just yet, like a bite mark from one left on the bone of the other. But pure logic dictates a fierce rivalry. In a prehistoric ocean environment with limited large prey, two apex predators of this immense scale, who both required astronomical amounts of food just to survive, simply couldn't ignore each other. The answer really lies in their diet. Both predators targeted the exact same abundant baleen whales that swam in the Miocene oceans. This intense, relentless competition for enormous amounts of food was a massive driver of evolution. In fact, some researchers even speculate that this very rivalry with Livyatan might be what pushed Megalodon toward its extreme evolutionary gigantism, literally just to ensure it could stay competitive and secure its meals. Section 4. Clash of the Titans. So if we were to look at this like a championship heavyweight boxing match, how do these two magnificent monsters actually stack up against each other in a fight? And this brilliantly illustrates the matchup. In one corner, you have Megalodon, boasting a raw bite force that is among the strongest of any predator in history, combined with rows of terrifyingly serrated teeth built for slicing right through flesh and bone. But in the other corner, you have Livyatan. What it might have lacked in raw slicing power, it absolutely made up for with advanced mammalian intelligence, immense maneuverability, a potential pack-hunting instinct passed down from its whale ancestry, and those terrifying thick teeth built for gripping and crushing bone. But before you picture an endless, bloody war of giant monsters fighting to the death every single day, consider this quote. The real battle wasn't fought in a single moment. It was fought across generations. Most paleontologists agree on this. Full-grown adults likely avoided direct combat with each other whenever possible, mostly because the risk of mortal injury was just way too high. Instead, this was a slow, constant struggle for food resources, fought across millions of years in the deep, food-scarce waters of the ancient Pacific. Section 5. An Unsolved Ocean Mystery. Sadly, this incredible era didn't last forever. Let's look at the tragic disappearance of these two incredible apex predators who left behind nothing but scattered fossils in what are now modern-day deserts. We actually know that Megalodon vanished around 3.6 million years ago. That extinction was likely due to cooling oceans, shifting populations of their prey, and the rise of new, faster competitors, maybe even early relatives of today's killer whales. But Livyatan? It mysteriously faded from the fossil record several million years before Megalodon's extinction, and the exact reason why remains a complete mystery to this day. We still just don't fully understand what caused the downfall of the mighty whale that challenged the ocean's king. Every single new fossil discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, but it still leaves us wondering, what would a real face-to-face encounter between these two titans actually look like? We've talked about the stats and the rivalry today, but in our next explainer, we are going to rigorously reconstruct a hypothetical battle based on size, bite force data, and hunting behavior. Until then, I want to leave you with this thought. If you were swimming in the treacherous waters of the Miocene oceans, which of these two absolute monsters would you be more terrified to meet?